everything into it. And that's why sometimes people don't quite understand when, you know, athletes talk about transition, because they go, you know, another person will, oh, it's just a job, you know, you're so lucky to do something you love. And like, yes, I get that, but it's so hard to try and explain. It's like being ripped apart. It's being, you know, feeling old, you're not good enough, whatever. It's being at that cliff edge and then suddenly going, wee.
Well, the way I kind of describe it to a lot of people is imagine the thing you love doing the most. What is it that you?
Yeah.
Is it going to the pub and seeing your friends, having that drink on a Saturday night and meeting up with everyone? Yes, it is that.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can't do that ever again.
Exactly.
Now what? Or like it's something that really, think of something that really sets your soul on fire and you're fired up about it and you love it and you're passionate about it, and then it's gone the next day. It's out of your life. Then how do you feel? And you're so right, you do die twice. And also I'm so aware of some of the stuff that you do as well with athlete transition and speaking to athletes and helping them as well. And there's no manual. There's no manual for everyone.
No.
Because everyone's sport means a certain amount to that person. And like you could even find 2 badminton players, you could find 2 cricketers, 2 footballers, 2 rugby players, and retire them at the same age at the same time, and it will be completely different for both of them, because there's 2 lives there that have had different experiences, that it's valued differently. And so as much as you can look for the help, it is really about grieving. And when someone loses a loved one, literally through death, as much as you can say, like, I know how you feel, you don't really know how that person feels, because it's an individual relationship with that person, and it is true grief. So yeah, I think that's genuinely a thing of awareness that professional athletes need to have, is that be aware that there's a grieving process. And I think that's where some of the stuff that I like doing with more professional athletes is making sure that there are things in place that allow them to not look at their sport as the be all and end all. It's not just their identity. Like try and find your identity before you finish. Really know what your identity is. Really be able to verbalize what you are, who you are, before you finish.
Exactly.
So that when it does come, it's not as tough a transition, because my search for my identity took me a while, and I think I'm pretty close, and I still would say I'm not there. But realizing that grieving process is now coming nearer and nearer to an end, and it's been 3-4 years for me. Some people were like, oh, it's going to take you 2 years, but no, it's been nearly 4 for me. No, it's still a bit of a struggle. It's such a weird world to be in.
It is. Yeah, it is. But that's why I think sports people can talk to each other amazingly. I think you can meet any sports person from any sport, and they know that you know, and you know that they know. And I think that's something very powerful, and we don't do enough. It's not about whether we should be all trained in counselling, therapy or psychology. It's just, hey, how are you doing? You know, oh yeah, you know, this is happening and whatever. Don't do it enough. And sports people talking to sports people